Hey everyone, it's Natalie here from Assistance Dogs at Townsville. This is Aika, my 7-year-old male Rottweiler, and today we're doing our first enrichment video on the Snuffle mat. So this is a Snuffle mat that you can see here on the floor. It's rectangular, it's green and white, and what it does is mimic natural foraging behaviour. So instead of just dropping our dog's food into a bowl, I'm going to scatter Aika's dinner, which is just some kibble, through these strands and let his nose do the work. So why does this matter? Rottweilers were bred as working dogs. They need the mental stimulation just as much as they need the physical exercise. Now, a dog that doesn't get enough to do will always find a way to make his own entertainment. And trust me, with a dog this size, you don't want that. Now, for a little while, Aika wasn't getting enough stimulation. He was pacing back and forth in the afternoon when I was getting home, which told me he needed more to do. And this is just one of the small things that I've introduced to address that. So what I do is I'll get a good scattering of his kibble and some other nice high value treats or reinforcers, as we call it in the biz, and I'll just scatter them through his mat. Now you can see he's a really good boy and he's waiting until I give him the okay to get them. But that's really important too, so you want to make sure that they're not jumping on the mat before you're ready. Okay, so at this point what I want him to do is I want him to search for the food, because it's not just about the food itself, but it's the sniffing, it's the enrichment that he gets from just doing that work, which is very natural to this dog. Okay. And off he goes. Now, if you watch his nose, he's working through every strand methodically. Now, this 5 to 10 minutes of mental work for him is equivalent of a much longer physical walk in terms of how tired it'll make him. Now, there's a couple of things to keep in mind. You've got to always supervise your dog with a Snuffle mat, especially for the first few times. Some dogs try and flip it over, they'll chew on it, and if that happens, hold it steady or use a heavier mat. Also, check it regularly for wear and tear and for any food that might have missed that magical nose of his. Now, if you do find them, I would suggest either cutting the bit out that's worn away or getting rid of it completely. You don't want them swallowing anything that they shouldn't. The other thing that you should also do is make sure that it goes into the wash as often as possible to make sure to keep it clean and tidy. Now, this one's made of material, but you can also buy the rubber ones, which do just as well and are probably a little bit easier to clean because you can just chuck them in the dishwasher. Was that good? Come back over here. Come. Drop. Good boy. Look at that. A happy dog and a calm dog. Now, it took me about 2 minutes to set that up for you, but it made a real difference to his afternoon and his behaviour. And look, I'll link some of the other videos as we do them on enrichment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.